Hello everyone, today we are going to make multi-texture node in Blender. Additionally, we are going to create better array instancing in geometry nodes. I'm using Blender 4.4, but it should work on almost any version of Blender as well as my shader. At first we need to create multi-texture node setup. It's available for download in the description below, but it's best to understand how it works before proceeding. For this method to work, you either need separate objects or instances. Press Shift+A to call a search menu, then type object. Then create white noise texture and set it to 4D. Now connect random from object info to both inputs of white noise texture. At max it could work with 8 to 9 textures as I think, but it could be more. So we need 7 white noise textures arranged vertically. Then connect all of them to random value, and create a map range node. Connect white noise texture value to map range value. It might be unnecessary, but I think it would be nice to clip those values with it. Then create color ramp node and set it to constant. Now click on white marker in color ramp and type 0.125. I divided 1 by 8 to create even slices for our random selection. We need 7 color ramps in total. I am adding 0.125 to 0.125 and so on, up until I reached 0.875. And since constant color of 1 is not visible, I stopped at 8 values. 0.125, 0.25, 0.375, 0.5, 0.625, 0.75, 0.875. After connecting color ramp with a map range node, we need to create 7 mix color nodes and connect color ramp to mix input. Then in first color mix connect group input to A and B values. Select everything what I selected and right click, then create a group. In group you have group input and group output. We need to connect group input to each color mix node so it could load and mix our textures. Then connect first color mix node to second color mix a value. Repeat the process leaving B value untouched. Then connect group input to each B value. Technically first color mix mixing 2 textures together while second and after mixing new values on top. Then connect the last color mix node into group output and exit node group by clicking arrow. If it's not visible, just scroll your mouse in that menu position. After that we should rename that inputs to numbers by pressing N and double-clicking them. To preview if it works, assign different colors to each color input of our node setup. Let's create random seed for randomization of location in UV mapping. Create white noise texture and object info node. Connect object info random into vector input of white noise texture. Then connect it to mapping location and use W value to control. Let's drop this Danisan textures and group them to save space. Be for sure to use cubic filtering for better quality of bump map. This two nodes I don't mention is texture coordinate and value. You can group this setup for further reuse if you want. I select multiple nodes by holding Shift and left click. To move them, press G. Oops, it didn't work. Well, anyway, just connect it to mapping manually. UVs are a little bit tricky since it uses texture proportion for unwrapping and sometimes it doesn't work properly. Be for sure that your origin is correct and you have applied scale and rotation of your object, plus don't use subdivision yet. Now I'm gonna show which material settings I used. This is my hyper shader groups, which I explain in another video. I personally recommend using blue noise sampling in render settings and using 1024 bounces. This will allow for light to use as many as necessary bounces, which could vary from very few up to hundreds, but to not clip that I use that big amount. Additionally, I prefer to use 60 for direct clamping and 40 for indirect. It will allow for more variation of brightness to happen without creating fireflies, but setting might vary per project. The closer it is to 100, the less of clamp it is. Now I'm gonna show how to accurately model this planks. We need to follow this lines and snap to vertex to create proper geometry which can be used in array. To create empty space in between of planks, you need to separate them by pressing P separate disconnected. Then use origin to geometry and set scaling to individual origins. It's in a top menu where it says bounding box scaling. After join geometry. Now I'm gonna show how to create geometry nodes better. Array modifier. Create a mesh line and instance on points. Mesh line is gonna be our path and instance on points would be array copies. Connect geometry to array instance input and connect mesh line to points. Then connect first instance on points to second one into instances. The second mesh line is for x-axis while first one is for y. You instance entire thing down technically. If you have any question, please ask me in comments below. Danison textures are free and I will link them in description. Thank you for watching and sorry for such long video. I have no idea of how to speed up video.